Dear students, welcome to one more new video of 10th Standard Social Science. In this video, let us see history, important question. This is the first part of this video. First question from chapter number 1, The Advent of Europeans to India. State the causes that resulted in the discovery of a new sea route to India. The fall of Constantinople, all the trade routes connecting the city of Constantinople came under the control of Turks. The Turks started levying too many taxes on the goods. Spain, Portugal were attempting to break the monopoly of Italian traders. They started encouraging enterprising sailors to find a new sea route to India. The invention of compass, astrolabes, and gunpowder. These were the causes or the reasons that resulted in the discovery of a new sea route to India. Explain how Martanda Varma checked the Dutch. He controlled the surrounding areas and made them to oppose the Dutch. The Dutch attacked on Travancore. Raja Martanda defeated them and captured Nedumangala and Kottarakara. He also wrote a strong letter to the Dutch that he would never give up the trade rights of pepper to any foreigners. The Dutch declared war on Travancore with Kottarakara, but Martanda Varma's army strongly sent it back. The Dutch came back to Cochin, but with the help of Simhali forces. 4-day serious battle took place at Kolachal. Finally, Travancore army had an upper hand in the battle. The Dutch suffered huge losses. What were the results of the Battle of Plassey? This war brought out the immorality, lack of unity among the Indians, and the greed of Indian businessmen. Mir Jafar became the Nawab of Bengal. The company gained exclusive rights to trade in Bengal. Mir Jafar had to pay rupees 17 crores and 70 lakhs. What were the results of the Battle of Buxar? Shah Alam II accorded the Diwani rights over Bengal to the British. Shah Alam II gave away all the rights over Bengal to the British for an annual fee of rupees 26 lakhs. Shuja ud-Dawla had to pay war indemnity of rupees 50 lakhs. The company paid pension to Mir Jafar's son. Explain dual government in Bengal. Robert Clive brought in dual government in Bengal. As per this, the British had the right to collect land taxes. The Nawab had power over administrative issues like justice and others. Explain the reasons for First Anglo-Maratha War. The death of Madhava, Maratha strongman Madhavrao. Narayan Rao was murdered by his uncle Raghoba. This resulted in an infighting for the post of Peshwa. The Maratha Federation brought Madhavrao II to the post of Peshwa. Raghoba approached the British for support. The British thought of exploiting this situation in their favor. What were the conditions under subsidiary alliance? Explain. The Indian kings had to keep the British army in their kingdom. The state concerned had to bear the expenses of the army and the wages of soldiers. The king had to have a British resident in his court. The king could not appoint any other European. In order to enter into any agreement or pact with any Indian state, the permission of the Governor General was mandatory. The company would offer protection to the state from any internal or external aggression. In permanent zamindari system, the Indian farmers were born in debt, lived in debt, and died in debt. How? Lord Cornwallis implemented permanent zamindari system. Under this system, zamindar became the landowner. The zamindar was expected to pay the agreed land taxes to the company. He was free to collect any amount of land taxes from the farmers. This benefited the zamindar more. If the zamindar was unable to collect land taxes, the ownership of the land was taken away by the company. Both the zamindar and the company were benefited by this system. The farmers, the farming laborers suffered. What were the main aspects of Ryotwari system? The Ryotwari system was first implemented in Baramahal region by Alexander Reed. This system was later implemented in Madras and Mysore region by Thomas Munro. Under this system, both the farmers and the company were directly linked. The tiller of the land was recognized as the owner of the land. The owner had to pay 50% of produce as land tax. The land tax had 30 years tenure. The tax could be reviewed after this tenure. The small farmers were subjected to more suffering. The officials took punitive actions to collect land taxes. What were the effects of British land taxes? A new class of zamindar was created. The farmers who were subjected to the exploitation of the zamindars. Land became a commodity. Loans could be raised by mortgaging the lands. Many zamindars also had to mortgage their lands. The agriculture sector became commercialized. The money lenders became strong. Make a list of the effects of British education in India. Modernity, secularism, democratic attitudes, and rationality. Impetus was received for the local literature and languages. Periodicals started emerging. New social and religious reformation movements emerged. J.S. Mill, Rousseau, and Montesquieu. The freedom struggles that were taking place across the globe influenced the Indians also. Indians could understand and appreciate their rich tradition. What were the restrictions imposed in Regulating Act? The Bengal presidency gained control over the other two presidencies. The governor of Bengal became the governor general of all the three presidencies. The governor general was authorized to direct exercise control over the other two presidencies. The Bombay and Madras presidencies could not declare war on anyone. The Bombay and Madras governments had to report all their administrative decisions to the Governor General of Bombay. 4 councillors were appointed to the executive committee of the Governor General. How does the India Government Act of 1935 become the base of Indian Constitution? A federal system of Indian principalities, British governed regions and dominion states was formed. Reserve Bank of India was established. Hierarchy was established at the center. Hierarchy was established at the provincial level and autonomy was granted. The federal court was established. What are the important features of 1919 Act? This act formulated bicameral legislative body. Hierarchy was allowed at provincial governments. An High Commissioner was appointed for India. Promised to improve local self-government. 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 Provisional budget was separated from central budget. Separate electoral college was extended for Muslims, Sikhs, Anglo-Indians and Europeans. What were the main aspects of Mahalwari system? It was introduced in Uttar Pradesh, in many parts of Madhya Pradesh, Punjab and Delhi. Mahal means Taluk. R.M. Bird and James Thomson implemented this system. There were differences in the implementation of this system from region to region. The big and small zamindars were part of this system. Many zamindars had to lose their ownership of the lands. The marginal farmers and agricultural laborers suffered. What were the reforms introduced by the British in the field of modern education system? Warren Hastings facilitated the expansion of the modern education in India. Warren Hastings started Calcutta Madrasa. Jonathan Duncan started Sanskrit College in Banaras. Charles Grant pressed for the extension of British education in India. The expansion of the British education in India received special support from Lord William Bentinck. Bentinck appointed Macaulay as the member of Governor General's Executive Committee. Macaulay was also appointed as the chairperson of the Committee on Education. Lord Dalhousie established universities in Calcutta, Bombay and Madras as per the suggestions of Charles Wood's Commission. What are the important features of Indian Councils Act of 1909, or what are the important features of Minto-Morley Reforms Act? The total number of central legislature member was increased to 60 from 16. The number of council members was also increased in the provinces. The members of the legislature was allowed through election for the first time in order to provide separate representation for Muslims. Separate electoral college was created. What are the achievements of Chikkadevaraja Wodiyar? He was an efficient soldier and administrator. He checked the invasion of Shivaji at Madurai, Ikeri and Bijapur. He captured Magdi, Madugiri, Kotagiri and other places. He purchased Bangalore from the Mughal military general. He had the titles like Karnataka Kavi Chakravarti, Apratima Veera, Tenkana Raja and Navakoti Narayana. He started the Council of Ministers. The postal system came into being during his time. Chikkadeva Raja and Doddadeva Raja canal were constructed. He had patronized many poets like Tirumala Raya, Sanchi Honnamma and so on. What were the conditions of Srirangpatnam Treaty? Tipu was forced to part with half of his kingdom. He was forced to pay 3 crore rupees as war damage fee. He had to pledge 2 of his children as guarantee against the payment. He was also forced to release the prisoners of war. The British withdrew the combined army from Srirangpatnam. What are the achievements of Krishnaraja Wodiyar IV? He was very much interested in spreading education among his people. He abolished fee in all primary schools and developed primary education. He helped girls' education. He started the University of Mysore. The Indian Institute of Science was also established. Special attention was given to the development of irrigation. A barrage was constructed across Kaveri near Belagula. New railway lines were laid. Iron and steel factory, cement factory, paper mills, sugar factory, sandal factory, soap factory, chemical and fertilizer factory were started. Legislative council was formed. He had a lot of interest towards fine arts and encouraged musician. Mysore became a model state due to his administration. The Fourth Anglo-Mysore War strengthened the position of the British in Mysore. Discuss. Tipu died while fighting against the British. The British were happy as if the whole India came under their rule. Most of the territories under Tipu's rule was shared among the British and the Marathas and the Nizam of Hyderabad. A small territory was handed over to the royal representative of Mysore Wodiyar. This region came to be known as Mysore Princely States. Explain the method of resisting the British power by Dondiya Walk. Built army captured Bidanur Shivamogga forts. Unsuccessful attempt to capture Chitradurga. Wellesley tried to check the rebellion. British attack on Shivamogga, Honnali, Harihara. Capture of Shikaripura. Dondiya's flight to Gutti. Attack on Gutti by Nizam. Dondiya's flight to Maratha region. Continued his war in spite of defeat to Marathas. Encouraged by Palegas, French extended support. British army followed Dondiya. Capture of Shirahatti. Followers of Dondiya were killed. British attacked from all directions. Was caught between Maratha and Nizam army. British attacked him near Elaparvi and killed Dondiya at Konagal. Explain the method adopted by Sangolli Rayanna to fight against the British. Rayanna was a brave soldier. He fought for the independence of Kittur. He fought with Rani Chennamma and was imprisoned. Along with her, he developed a sense of nationalism and went organizing an army. He went on organizing secret meetings at sensitive geographical locations. He aimed at looting the treasury and taluk offices of the British. He became furious with the villagers who were assisting the British army. The British devised a cunning strategy to capture Rayanna. Rayanna was cunningly captured and brought down to Dharwad. He was also declared as an offender and was hanged. What were the achievements of Raja Wodiyar? The credit of expanding the small Palayapattu into a large Mysore goes to him. Srirangpatna was made as his capital. The surrounding areas were occupied and expanded his kingdom. He revived the temples of Srirangpatna, Mysore and Melukote. Rajamudi, the crown was offered to Lord Chelvanarayana Swami. He started the Navratri festival in Mysore. What were the reasons for Fourth Anglo-Mysore War? Tipu claimed his right over the Malabar regions under the British occupation, but the British refused this argument. Tipu's closeness with the French angered Lord Wellesley further. Tipu sent an ambassador to France to seek the alliance of the French. This enraged the British. They thought that an alliance between France and Tipu Sultan would threaten the existence of British in India. Another treaty subsidiary alliance was forced upon Tipu Sultan. Tipu rejected this. His refusal started the Fourth Anglo-Mysore War. What were the achievements of Chamarajendra Wodiyar X? During his period, the Mysore Representative Assembly was established. During his period, gold mines in Kolar, Bangalore-Mysore Railway were established. He gave shelter to Vivekananda when he came to Mysore. He helped Vivekananda to participate in the Parliament of World Religion at Chicago. As he had a love towards Kannada and Sanskrit, he patronized many scholars. Basappa Shastri was important among them. Basappa Shastri had written many books and was known as Abhinav Kalidasa. Basappa Shastri has composed the state anthem of Mysore, Kayo Shri Gauri. What were the achievements of J. Chamaraja Wodiyar? He had his education in general and special colleges. He toured the world and got knowledge. He had the services of Diwan Mirza Ismail, Nyapti Madhav Rao, and Arcot Ramaswamy Mudaliar. He was a great scholar, musicologist, orator, and a great patron of literature and fine arts. He had written a number of books and also composed many devotional songs. He became the governor of Mysore after India became independent. Explain the achievements of Queen Chennamma of Kittur. After the death of her husband, Mallasarja, she took active interest in the administrative matters. She adopted a boy named Shivlingappa. Thackeray sent a report to the governor of Mumbai and attempted to take over Kittur kingdom under the doctrine of lapse policy. Chennamma considered war was inevitable. Meanwhile, the British also prepared themselves for the war. In the battle, Thackeray was shot dead. Many British were taken as prisoners of war. The British attacked Kittur again under the leadership of Colonel Dick. She was captured by the British army. Chennamma and others were imprisoned at Bailahongala fort. Queen Chennamma passed away in the prison. Explain the rebellion of Bedas of Halagali. The British banned the usage of weapons. The Bedas, who always kept guns as part of their customs, were good hunters. They rebelled against the British when they were asked to surrender their firearms. The Bedas of Mysore, Manturu, Budani, Alagundi and neighboring villages joined Halagali Bedas. The British army entered Halagali village to suppress the rebellion. They suppressed the Bedas in an inhuman way. All the rebels were hanged to death. What are the preachings of Brahmo Samaj? Brahmo Samaj was in the forefront of the social and religious reformation in the 19th century. It attempted to bring in reforms in the traditions and customs in Hindu religion. It opposed idol worship and polytheism and encouraged monotheism. It condemned performance of yogas and rituals and opposed the priestly class. It enabled the development of nationalism among Indians. Explain the reforms propagated by Satyashodhak Samaj. Satyashodhak Samaj believed that freedom was the basic necessity of every individual. It urged for prohibition of liquor. It opposed gender inequality, denial of human rights, exploitation of people. It started a movement for social justice. Jyotiba Phule established a primary school for girls. He condemned the slavery being forced on Shudras and casteless classes. He advocated free and compulsory education. Analyze the objectives of the Aligarh movement. The Aligarh movement aimed at promoting harmony of Eastern and Western ideas through transformation of the Muslims. Its main objective was to provide religious education along with Western education, to create a modern society through Western education. Sir Syed brought the Muslim community together. He supported female literacy. He condemned polygamy and ideas against widow marriage. Which are the reforms brought about by Annie Besant? She started the activities of Theosophical Society in India and gave it new vitality. She aroused pride in Indian culture through his lectures. She attempted to establish equality, universal brotherhood, and harmony in society. She gave full support. She gave her full support to the freedom struggle. She started a newspaper called New India. She started Home Rule movement. She was the president of the Congress session. She contributed immensely to Indian philosophy and the independence struggle. These are the important questions from history division. We shall see the remaining questions in the second part of it.